Hi everyone. We are here at Garden State Comic Fest 2024. With me is legendary comic book creator, artist, and owner of Compass Comics, Graham Nolan. Graham is also the co-creator of Batman villain Bane. That's what he's drawing. Uh, but other than that, even my first intro to Batman comics was also Graham's book. I remember we used to have Gotham Comics in India. That's a reprint of DC Comics, reprint of Marvel Comics, and I think the issue had Gearhead in it. That is Graham's book
Yeah.
first in.
I remember Gearhead.
So, yeah, and that Gearhead for me was like one of the main guys back then. He never appeared.
No.
Yeah, we have Graham Nolan with us, and hey, Graham.
Hello. Good to be here.
So the first question is around how the Garden State Comic Fest has been for you. I know it's a small comic fest, but how is it for you? How's the 2 days been?
Oh, it's been great. I have a lot of fun at this show. This is the third year I've done it,
Uh-huh.
and it's drivable for me. I'm only 5.5 hours away, and a lot of my friends come to this one, so we get to hang out and do my Hawaiian shirt cigar fest, whiskey extravaganza, which we did last night, and I survived. So yeah, it's been good.
How's the crowd though?
Crowd's good. Yeah, it's a constant stream.
Uh-huh.
It's small, but that's okay. Gives us breathing room.
Yeah, I have seen a lot of artists doing sketches. That's not possible at bigger cons when it's just like fan after fan who wants signatures. So that's something that I've seen for Garden State.
Right.
So yeah, we'll move on to our next question.
Okay.
What are you working on? We have seen a lot of stuff from Compass Comics. I have read stuff from Compass Comics. So is there anything else that you are working on within Compass Comics, and is there anything else outside of it?
No, my workload is strictly for Compass Comics. So the current thing I'm working on is we have a campaign that's live right now for Joe Frankenstein 3,
Uh-huh.
The Eye of Ra. I've written that and co-written it with Chuck Dixon.
Uh-huh.
And we have Anthony Gonzalez Clark is going to step in and
Nice.
do the artwork for it.
Oh, yeah.
He's a very talented artist. The reason I'm not doing the art for it like I did on part 1 and 2 is because I have to work on Escape from Monster Island, the third book in my Monster Island trilogy. So we hired Anthony to handle the art chores on Joe, and while I can work on Escape. So I'm about 5 pages in, and we'll launch that campaign in October.
Nice. Now, I've read the books that have been coming out from Compass Comics, and they give a very nostalgic feel at the comics that we grew up reading.
Okay.
It has that feel, and at the same time, it seems very fresh. I've been
It's
reading them and enjoying them,
Oh, excellent.
so I'll be looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm trying to focus strictly on like a monster, supernatural, sci-fi universe, as opposed to doing superheroes. There's enough of those out there. I think people have got that pegged down.
Uh-huh.
Not to say that I wouldn't do a superhero, but it might be something along the lines that has horror in it as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
but I never say never because you never know. But right now, I've got my universe going pretty good with the monsters and the various subject matters I've been tackling. So I'm happy to do it that way.
Yep. I love them. I'll be looking forward to it.
Thank you.
One thing for self-publishing, how hard is it for someone? So you have contacts within the industry, you knew the trade. How hard is it for someone who is coming from outside? The self-publishing game, is it viable? Is it very difficult for an outsider to get in? Any advice on that?
Well, contacts, like having worked in the bigs for many years, those contacts are worthless. Because I'm not working for them, I'm competing against them. So for anybody that's new, your biggest hurdle is to build your audience. And you need to do that even prior to your launch. That means gathering email addresses and building lists of people that you know are comic buyers, comic readers. You know, maybe they're into the genre that you're doing, like say horror fans for me, that kind of stuff. And you need to get those lists together ahead of time. And then you have to have a presence on social media, particularly like YouTube. It's very important. You can reach a lot of people that way. And you have to have good content, obviously. You know, you have to have quality. But there's so many great books or great artists out there that, you know, their crowdfunding things fail.
Yeah.
Because they just don't approach it properly. They don't build their audience properly. Or, unfortunately, they might not have the personality for it, you know, which is a thing too. You know, so you have to kind of look within yourself and figure out your own deficits. And if you see some, then fix them or hire somebody to take care of that part.
Yep. Now that's essential too. Like I figured a lot of it is marketing. So how you market to your customers, how you market to potential customers. I remember like when I backed the Chinu campaign, I spoke with you and you were gathering people who could help with the campaign. That was good. Like at least I knew that there are other people who are liking the horror genre and they are supporting it as well. And yeah, I guess now you have followers who are going in and getting all the comics from the Monsterverse.
Right. Yeah, because, you know, once you get that first one out and you prove that you're reliable, because that's the other thing, you have to build trust.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're asking people to hand over their hard-earned money in the hopes that you will deliver on what you say you're going to deliver. You know, and so that's a large ask of trust from people, especially in this economy. So once you do that and you send them that quality book and you deliver it on time when you said you would, they're much more likely to come back and give you another try.
Yep.
And then the other thing is as I said, when you're on a stream promoting your stuff, I feel like if you can get your potential backers to fall in love with you first, then they'll be more willing because, oh, what a nice guy, what a great guy, you know, I'm willing to give this thing a try. Horror is not my deal, but you know, he's passionate about it. It sounds good. I'll give him a try. You can't ask for more than that, you know, because they might try it. It's not their bag, and they didn't like it, and then that's fine. You know? But you need to reach them personally with and make them like you enough to give whatever it is you're trying to get out into the world a shot.
Yep,
You know,
that makes sense. And that brings us to the question that I have been dying to ask. As I said that my intro to Batman was through Gearhead. The Gotham Comics, Sarath Devarajan, Suresh Sitaraman, they got the rights to reprint DC and Marvel books in India.
Okay.
Back in the day, in 90s and early 2000. And they printed these books, like serialized Batman books, in something called Gotham Comics. And then they got on to start their own company called Virgin Comics, that went on to be Liquid Comics and now Graphic India. A lot of our viewers would be from the Indian subcontinent as well. So I wanted to ask you, like, how your experience has been working with Sarath and Virgin Comics, because we have radio books that came out in Virgin Comics. So how has that experience been?
Working with the Graphics India crew was really great. You know, they were producing comics that were going to be printed, but also they needed them to be formatted in a way that they could use them for like animation, online type stuff. So that was a bit of a challenge, which meant that I had to keep a lot of my panels horizontal, a widescreen, if you will, as opposed to like doing, say, a Joe Kubert style thing where I could put a circular insert or have a large figure break out and stuff, you know. So that was a little bit different. Never having been to India, I had to do a lot of research, you know, so that like street scenes and stuff, buildings, the inside of a kitchen,
Oh, yeah.
The appliances that
Uh-huh.
are used, so there's a lot of reference for me, which I like to do. I like to reference things.
Mhm.
But once I got that, then it was fun drawing it. It felt, because what I try to do with my drawings and my storytelling is be immersive.
Mhm.
And that's very important to me.
Yeah.
Is you immerse the reader in there into the story,
Mhm.
and doing that with backgrounds and stuff
Yeah.
helps do that. So people feel that okay, this is India. It's not
Yeah.
just my impression of what I think
Mhm.
India looks like.
Yep.
You know,
Yep. No, I like that about your storytelling because it's really immersive. I collect original art as well. And there was a page that I always loved. It was about Alfred, uh, who figures out there's a fox
oh
infestation.
yeah,
And he decides to kill the fox, and he goes ahead, and when he finds the fox, it has its
it's a den
children.
of babies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and then he
yeah.
just gives them milk. And I tried to source that page, found it, and it's in my collection now. So I love that kind of storytelling. It has always been immersive, even for like Compass Comics. That's what I see, and that's what I like, because it's really immersive storytelling.
That's cool.
So that moves us to the question that we briefly discussed yesterday. Um, your work with Graphic India. You mentioned there was one book called Astra Force. I have seen the TV series of that on
It was
Cartoon
called
Network.
Astra.
Astra,
Yeah.
yeah. The series was Astra Force, and that had
Oh,
Amitabh.
Astra Force.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
and that had Amitabh Bachchan in it. I know the director of the series, he's a friend. So if you want to say anything about that experience working on it.
Um, yeah, that was the first series that actually Chuck and I worked on. Then we went on to do Black Tiger.
Uh-huh.
Um, but the Astral one was the one I really liked because it was very cosmic.
Uh-huh.
I got to pull out my Jack Kirby reference,
Uh-huh.
and really go, wild with stuff.
Yeah.
So a lot of designs were really fun to work with. There's a lot of action, of course, because Chuck wrote it.
Uh-huh.
But so yeah, that one was a lot of fun.
Nice. As now this is trivia for our viewers as well. They must have seen it on Cartoon Network. So it would be good for them to find out if like how the comic book was. Yeah. So that moves us to our final question.
Okay.
A lot of things right now, a lot of new artists are trying out AI tools. Some people have done even like full comic books using AI.
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
Well, the genie's out of the bottle with AI. It's here, and we're stuck with it, and you're gonna have to figure out how you're either gonna integrate it or not.
Yeah.
And for me, I see it just as another tool. I've used it once or twice already, just as a springboard for an idea. Like when I was working on Escape from Monster Island, I wanted to. What was it? What did I research? It was the island itself is self-contained around a force field. So there's you see the island, it's got sky and it's got water. So it's like contained in this drop. So I wanted to see what AI would do with that.
Okay.
So I said, yeah, an island self-contained in a bubble, floating in space type of thing. And it came up with a bunch of ideas which looked very much like my drawings anyway. So I wasn't able to use it for that. But one of the things I'm bad at is drawing tech. Like if somebody says, oh yeah, I need a spaceship, or I need some type of cool weapon, make it look like something you see in Aliens or something like that. I'm not very good at that. So I went into AI and I said, spaceship 1950s style, that kind of stuff. I gave it all these prompts, and it came up with this kind of cool looking spaceship. Not exactly what I need, but it gave me ideas about shapes that I could use to create my own.
Definitely.
So I use that as a tool, not to bypass the storytelling, the design, or the art stuff, like if you do full AI stuff,
Yeah, yeah.
but still use it as an artistic tool.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And I've seen a lot of my artist friends have been using it as reference material. Some of them have been using it for backgrounds and to get a generic composition going, so that they know the colors and lighting and everything.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah,
exactly.
lighting effects are really
Exactly.
great to use it for. Yeah.
Yep. No, that was our final question. Thank you for your time, Graham.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, it was nice talking to you.
Yeah, nice talking to you guys. I hope it went well.
It did.
Yep,
Just for
yep.
progress. Can we see where you are at your drawing now?
Oh, yeah.
It's a process. It doesn't take place in 15 minutes, especially not when we're asking you questions.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you build, you know, you build the drawing. You start with a frame, you know, just like a house. You can start with a foundation. You got to build up from that. And you start with a drawing same way, breaking it down to basic shapes, and then adding to it, getting the angles you need, and then adding the shadows and the details and all that nonsense.